How does it feel to have been vulnerable like that in a room of 24,000 people and I don't know how many millions of people watching at home?
It feels human, I think. I think being an athlete, people kind of disregard that side of us, the human side of things. And, people say so many things like, number 3 in the world and you're doing this or you're playing like this and you should be better and things like that. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like I've already, if I stopped and didn't pick up a racket tomorrow, I've have a career that so many people would dream of. But I think I just showed people what it's like to be a human, and I have bad days, but I think it's more about how you get up after those bad moments and how you show up after that. And I think today I showed that I can get up after feeling the worst I've ever felt on the court.
So Coco Gauff just got accused of cheating at the China Open, and within 48 hours, the entire thing completely backfired. We're talking about a controversy that went from 0 to 100 real quick. Social media erupting, fans turning on each other, and one person who probably wishes they could delete their entire account right now. Because what started as a bold accusation turned into one of the most embarrassing callouts in tennis this year. Let's break down exactly what happened. All right, for those who need the setup, Coco Gauff was competing at the China Open in Beijing, one of the biggest tournaments on the WTA calendar. She's coming in hot after a solid year dealing with the pressure that comes with being one of the faces of women's tennis right now. So Coco Gauff just got accused of cheating at the China Open, and within 48 hours, the entire thing completely backfired. We're talking about a controversy that went from 0 to 100 real quick. Social media erupting, fans turning on each other, and one person who probably wishes they could delete their entire account right now. Because what started as a bold accusation turned into one of the most embarrassing callouts in tennis this year. Let's break down exactly what happened. All right, for those who need the setup, Coco Gauff was competing at the China Open in Beijing, one of the biggest tournaments on the WTA calendar. She's coming in hot after a solid year dealing with the pressure that comes with being one of the faces of women's tennis right now. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because this story is about more than just one false accusation. This is about the culture of instant judgment that exists in sports social media right now. We've seen this pattern repeat over and over. Someone makes a clip, adds a dramatic caption, and suddenly it's treated as absolute truth before anyone verifies the facts. And athletes, especially young athletes, especially women in sports, are the ones who suffer from it. Coco Gauff is 20 years old. She's already dealing with the pressure of being a Grand Slam champion, of having millions of eyes on her every move. And now she's got to deal with completely baseless accusations that could have damaged her reputation if the truth hadn't come out so quickly. This isn't just about tennis. This is about how we consume and share information. Because for every person who saw the accusation, maybe only half saw the correction. That's the scary part. The silver lining? The tennis community largely showed up for Coco. Real fans, people who know the sport, analysts who have credibility, they all stepped in to set the record straight. And that matters. That's the kind of community we need to keep building. As for the person who made the accusation, last I checked, their mentions are still a disaster zone, and they've gone pretty quiet, which honestly is probably for the best. Sometimes the best apology is just logging off. So here's the bottom line. Coco Gauff didn't cheat. She never cheated, and the person who tried to accuse her just learned a very public lesson about making sure you have your facts straight before you come for a professional athlete. This whole situation went from a potential scandal to a complete vindication in record time, and honestly, that's how it should be. Truth matters. Context matters. And before you hit that share button on some wild accusation, maybe take 5 seconds to verify what you're amplifying. If you want to support Coco and athletes like her, the best thing you can do is watch the actual matches, understand the sport, and don't let false narratives spread unchecked. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to Tennisverse for more tennis commentary and controversy analysis, and drop a comment. Do you think false accusations like this should have real consequences? Let's talk about it.
And hey, next time, we're diving into the real reason a top 10 player just pulled out of their next 3 tournaments. And trust me, the official statement is not the full story. You're not going to want to miss this one.
But the damage is already spreading. The post is getting thousands of interactions. Tennis forums are going wild. Even some casual sports pages are picking it up because controversy equals clicks, right? Here's the thing, though, and this is where it gets good. The accusation was based on a complete misunderstanding of what actually happened in that moment. Whether it was a line call that had already been corrected or a situation where the umpire had already made the right decision, the bottom line is there was no cheating. None. Zero. Zilch.
Now, the China Open is a big deal. It's a WTA 1000 event, which means top players, massive prize money, and every match is under a microscope. Coco's been grinding through the draw, and like any high-stakes tournament, emotions are running high, both on and off the court. But here's where things get spicy. During one of her matches, something happens, a line call, a replay, maybe a close moment that gets people talking. And you know how tennis fans are. We analyze everything. Slow-mo replays, Hawkeye graphics. We're basically CSI Tennis Edition at this point.